Okay. Number one, true. Number two, true. Number three, the third choice. Number four, the last choice.
Mm-hmm.
Five, the second choice.
Mm-hmm.
The last choice.
Mm-hmm.
Number 40.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8.4.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9.1.
Mm-hmm.
10.30, sorry, 0.350.
Mm-hmm.
Number 11.046.
Mm-hmm.
Number 12, 1.091.
Mm-hmm.
Number 13.138.
Mm-hmm.
Number 14.011.
Mm-hmm.
Number 15, negative 1.790. And
Mm-hmm.
either 0.035, 0.037, or 0.038. They all work. Okay. Now for our group project, I had an idea I wanted to bounce off you guys and see what your thoughts were and see if you had thought about anything. I was thinking about, and I'm sure we can get the numbers off the church website, but taking a look at the number of convert baptisms from a few years ago when you had to be at least 19 to go on your mission. Look at seeing the number of baptisms when now that you don't have to be 18 to serve a mission. And
yeah, that seems pretty interesting.
I'm trying to think of something like religious. I mean, we could. I thought of all sorts of tax ones that we could go after as far as changing tax policy. But that's kind of boring. I thought if we could find something applicable to the church, that might be kind of neat to do.
Yeah, I definitely like that idea better than tax stuff.
I figured you would. But that's something that's applicable to all of us, and we can find out the numbers online. We can adjust them for the overall membership at the church so that things are norm. The other thing I was thinking about when we do this is that we probably need to skip the first 2 years of when they drop the age, because the problem that you're going to have there is you've got all those younger missionaries being taught by guys that are older. They got in at a higher age. So that's not, so we might need to drop the first 2, maybe even 3 years of those numbers. So that way we're only looking at young missionaries that were taught by other young missionaries, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So once we just lost Alphonse, he'll be back on in a second. I don't know if that's necessary, but something I was thinking about this morning is that, to try to give ourselves the most accurate representation, we probably do need to drop that first 2 to 3 years.
If you're going with the complete age change to give time for all the older guys to get completely
because you would expect a guy who's 21 to be a better missionary and be able to teach those skills to an 18-year-old. I want to see an 18-year-old getting taught by a 19-year-old. So drop those first couple of years to give a chance the older guys to have been sent home. And that was a thought that I had as far as that we may need to do or to adjust for to keep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As possible.
The age drop actually happened during my mission.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, it was about 9 months out, and they made the announcement, and the younger guys started showing up about 9 months later.
I'm curious, what were your thoughts on that?
I mean, like I said, we only really saw an influx when I had less than 6 months to go, so I didn't get to see the full effects of it. It was good in a lot of ways, and it caused some complications in some ways.
Yeah, but I mean, this would be my guess. And I was the ward mission leader in my ward for a while, and before the change happened, though. But just in talking with, the new ward mission leader, there seems to be a lot of immaturity. It's just unbelievable that, going away to college for a year, how much it makes you grow up. And I remember this one guy that was in our ward. He actually went to 2 years of college first before his mission. And he was, in my opinion, light years ahead of everybody else. Now, part of that's maybe his personality, but he just was so much more mature. And in my opinion, so much of a more effective missionary because he didn't act like a kid. He acted like a grown-up.
Yeah.
And I remember after that, I thought, you know what, I'm going to have my son go to 2 years of college first before he goes on his mission. And then 2 or 3 years later, the church came out with that new policy. You can go out right out of high school. Luckily, though, my son wants to go to the Naval Academy. And if you do that, you have to go to 2 years of college before they'll let you take a sabbatical to serve your mission. So
Okay.
he's still going to be 20 no matter what. So I don't have to
Right.
try to talk him into going to 2 years of college first, then going on his mission. So
Yeah, you hit it pretty well. That was the problem. I actually didn't go to any college between, even though the age was still the original, because my birthday's in September, so I turned 18 right at the beginning of my senior year.
gotcha.
So by the time I graduated, my 19th birthday was 3 months away.
Okay.
But I'm kind of a stick in the mud anyway, so I wasn't fooling around too much. But yeah, when all the newer ones came up, especially since the amount of sister missionaries increased a lot, and all of these guys are coming pretty much straight out of high school, there was like guys trying to flirt and just messing around instead of, yeah, I'd say there's definitely a maturity factor.
Yeah. I mean, my birthday is not until April, so I was just barely 18 when I graduated high school. So, going to a year of college, I was just barely 19 when I went on my mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference between an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old. So, well, I thought that might be a fun topic to go over there. And I said, there's tons of research we can do as far as dividing that up and normalizing the numbers. I think waiting a few years to get rid of the old guard, I think is a good thing. Also adjusting the numbers for the overall population of the church to make sure that we're doing as much of an apples to apples comparison. And then I don't think we need to make an adjustment for the number. Well, I take that back. We do need to adjust for the number of missionaries because we went from 50,000 to 80,000 or something like that.
Yeah. So you're going by like 100 baptisms per missionary?
Yeah. So we need to adjust it per missionary. So there are a couple of adjustments that we need to make to try to, in my opinion, make those numbers make the most sense possible. So there's a decent amount of stuff we can do that I hate to say busy work, but it's not. There's going to be enough steps in there that I think it'll pass the muster on. This isn't some cakewalk study that we're doing here. There are a number of moving parts that we need to account for to do a rational study. So my hypothesis, or my alternative hypothesis, is that the baptism for missionaries went down, and quite frankly, I think even by a significant number. So
I'm kind of curious now. This is a good experiment.
Yeah, plus it'll be kind of fun. I mean, and all the stuff there is on the church website that we can snag. So I'll never made it back on. Usually, I've been surprised because a couple, I don't know, about a year or two ago, I had one of these and had a girl from Ghana, and her internet connection was just terrible.
Yeah.
I was worried about Alphonse being down there in Haiti, but he seems to have a pretty good connection. So maybe one of his kids needed some help or something. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm trying to think when we have to design the study. Oops, hang on. I clicked on the wrong one. Catching up here. Okay, so we've got I'm sorry. I'm trying to look at this. Is this something that's due? Design the study. I read this the other day, but I don't remember what it said. Sorry, I put my ice pack on for my herniated disc. Getting old is such a blast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have surgery to fix it.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I've had 5 surgeries. What's another one?
Wow.
You want to play? You got to pay.
Yeah. Did you play sports as a kid?
Yeah.
Or now?
And now, yeah, a lot of soccer, a lot of basketball.
So each step is only going to be done by one of us. Is that what I read?
Okay, I'm looking over the project again. That's kind of seems to be what it is. Each one of us takes a step. So we've got everyone writes up and submits their collect the data document. But actually, that might not be a bad idea to have each of us go through because one of us might find something that the other one didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5. So I'll be happy to I guess a question on this. I'll be happy to do the first part. Let me look and see when it's due.
I think it was due date number 3 of week 9.
So that's Saturday, right?
Is it week 9? Oh, I guess it is. Yeah.
Hang on, let me get back here. Dang it. If it's due on Saturday, I know I've got time. I can get it done. And plus, since I've been thinking about this for 2 days, I can probably get it done faster than anybody else.
Yeah, November 11th. So yes, Saturday.
Okay, thanks for verifying that. So I'll do the first part and take care of that. And get that submitted.
I'm perfectly fine doing the second part or whatever shakes out if somebody else wants to do it.
Yeah, I think what I'll do, just that way we can. Is this? I think this is the one I want to click on. Yeah, here we go. Make sure I clicked on the right one. Oops. Okay, so I'll put you for 1. I'll put me for 1, you for 2. And I'll just put Alphonse and Danny down for 4 and 5. And me, right, I'll put myself down to step 6. I mean, we can kind of work on that together, but just to put something on there. But the question I have for you is, what are your null and alternative hypotheses? So obviously the alternative is, I think they went. What is that hypothesis? That's what I'm not sure how to state.
What is the what hypothesis?
The null hypothesis.
I think it would just be baptism permission area would be equal for both groups.
Okay, that makes sense. Regardless of the age, the gospel is the gospel.
Yeah.
Baptism should be the same. Alternative hypothesis. The younger ones have less baptisms because they're not as mature.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay. And then this is going to be for number. Okay, I'm looking at the design to study Word document that they gave us. So I'm looking at. So this is going to be a quantitative 2-sample paired.
Will it be paired?
No, it wouldn't be paired.
Because one doesn't affect the other, right?
Right.
That's just, I mean, directly.
So actually, this would be an ANOVA because we can go through and what I'd like to do. I think that Excel spreadsheet can do up to six total categories.
Mm-hmm.
What I'd like to do is the last 3 years of the old age group, and then drop the first 2 years of the new, and then add, and then do the last. Well, if we have, has that been out for 5 years now?
Let's see. It happens 2000, like October 2012, I think was the announcement. So
Okay.
As of just this past conference, it's been 5 years. So yes.
So we could drop. Okay, that'll work. So we can.
You could drop.
We could drop the first 2 years and do the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't. They usually give statistics on an annual basis, right?
Yeah, that's true. So it's not going to be quite as. But actually, you know what would be interesting though?
Mm-hmm.
Take a look at the last, like the last 2 years, the 2 years during the conversion and then the last 2 years and see, kind of take a look at the mean and see what that, see if it's trending downwards instead of just like, I was expecting like if we did a 3 years and a 3 years, leave that open, you know, see kind of a cliff drop.
Mm-hmm.
But we probably don't have, we don't have enough data on this side yet. So we could just do, because we're only going to have through the end of 2016, I'd imagine.
I mean, that's if you want to do 3 years, because if all of 2015 and all of 2016 would be fully
But we're not going to have
the age drop
numbers until next spring.
for 2017.
Yeah. So we're not going to have 3 years worth of.
No, we just have the two, 2015 and 16.
Well, let's just do 16 and then go back 6 years, because that way we'll get 2 full years, 2 conversion years, 2 of the old years.
Yeah. Is it?
And let's just see if we have a slowly declining mean or a rapidly decelerating mean.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I gotta be honest, by the end of this past test, there were so many different samples. They all blended together and like I couldn't tell the difference. What's the difference between a 2-sample t-test and an ANOVA? If you were just doing old versus new, the two and no in between, would that be a 2-sample?
That'd be a 2-sample independent.
Okay.
That would.
And then.
But that would be basically, that'd be hard to do. We kind of have to take like the last full year of the old one and skip 2 years and then a first full year of the new one. I just say we do the ANOVA because it won't be that hard to get that data. And I think the more, I don't say complicated, but more comprehensive, I think the better it bodes for our grade. I think
so. Then we'd be taking, if there's like 2 of each, then we'd be taking the means of like the 3 sections and then comparing those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that'll work. All right, well, I'll do the first part and I'll just list the rest of you guys for the last parts.
Okay.
And I'll get that submitted by Saturday. And then somewhere in here we've got to get somebody's approval on this.
Someone's approval?
Oh, the instructor has to approve it.
Oh.
Oh, no, that's only if it's a survey, I guess. I'm looking through that design the study Word document. It's like 4 or 5 pages long. Actually, it's 6 long. The last step, 19, project approval. Your instructor will sign off below if your project is approved. We don't need to do a survey. Apparently, if you get a survey, you got to have your instructor's approval to do that too. But we're not going to do a survey.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dory.
Oh, so
3-hour drive home, so I'm ready to wrap it up.
I can't remember if you said this, but steps 3 and 4 are connected. They're combined assignments. It says in the overview.
And what is your experimental unit? Is that the one you're talking about?
In the final project overview, the make inference and take action steps are combined assignments, is what the directions say.
Make inference, take action, those are combined?
Yeah, and they're due at the same time.
Oh, I appreciate you catching that. Yeah, because in the design of the study, it's got them broken out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll put Alphonse on those. He's smarter than all of us combined.
Yeah.
And then we'll put Danny down on the PowerPoint.
And if everybody's in the Thursday, we can discuss more and possibly switch some assignments if somebody wants to do.
Hey, for this Thursday, I've got to be out of town again, but I'm not going to ask you guys to change the time. It was just too late to do that. I just found out yesterday. So can you set the class up, the HOA for Thursday?
Sure.
And then what I'm going to try and do, not to bore you to death, but I'm up in Northwest Indiana, close to Chicago, and I live in Indianapolis, right in the middle of the state. There's a town a little more than halfway home called Lafayette. That's where Purdue University is. That's where Elder Bednar got his PhD. Also a school that I hate because I did most of my studying at Indiana University, and
Okay.
they're kind of like BYU and U of U. But anyways, I'm going to stop there. There's a hotel right off the highway, and I'm going to see if I can find a quiet place and get a good Wi-Fi signal, and then try to join in on Thursday. If I don't make it, would it be possible for you to email me your quiz results? Or would you have time later Thursday night that you and I could do a quick little 5 or 10 minute HO?
Yeah. I'll email the link to the group after our meeting, and then I'll keep an eye on my email. So whenever you have, or find out when you have free time.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can get out of here and make it down to that town, and just, like I said, there's a couple hotels right off the highway that I can zip into.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, there's just a ton of construction going on still, and at times they'll close the highway down to one lane, and sometimes they do it at 7 o'clock, and sometimes they wait till 9 o'clock. So
yeah,
I'm getting stuck in traffic.
Yeah, if you don't make the meeting, just go ahead and email a time when you're available.
Okay.
Oh, I do have another group meeting Thursday nights at 7:30, but that usually doesn't take
my time.
7:30.
Yeah, all I need is about 5 or 10 minutes. So let me think here. Do the time in my head. 5. I more than likely can make it there by 6:30. If not, I'll be home by 7:30 or 8 my time. That would be 5:30 or 6 your time.
Yeah, anytime in there.
Yeah, so since it's just the two of us, it's going to take us 5 or 10 minutes. So cool. All right, Josh, thanks for your help, bud. Have a good evening. I'm going to shut my computer down. Like I said, I've got about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive home. So
All right, good luck.
see you later.
See ya.
Bye bye.